that it will be resolved peacefully. We hope that this visit will help. But consuming time is very dangerous. I would like to stress this. Ethiopian consuming of time is a very dangerous game for our interests, for the Sudanese interests as well. And we cannot accept. We have to stress our interests. We have to push very hard with foreign companies working in the project, with foreign governments financing the project, like Italy, China, everybody, to have a very diplomatic and political attack, let's say, or activity to convince them that it's very dangerous and they cannot go on bring Egyptians livelihood of millions of Egyptians all over the Nile.
Well, this trip will also be within the context of the 24th summit of the African Union, so it would also put Egypt in a pot with a lot of the African countries. How do you feel, how do you think or expect the African countries will deal with Egypt coming now after really re-establishing and remodeling its foreign relations? And what do they expect of Egypt, and what would Egypt want to achieve after meeting all the members of the African Union Summit?
As my colleague said, we have to capture the opportunities. We have to go back to Africa. We have to take back our leadership in Africa. We have to activate our diplomacy, our visits to Africa, our investments in Africa, and receive investments as well. We have to send more Egyptians to work there and to discover the opportunities. Africa is a very, very rich country. I have worked there and I know I have a lot of water, a lot of lands, a lot of natural resources, maybe more than any other continent. So we have to, and we are in the middle also of this. We are there by history and geography, so and social connections with them. Since long time. So we have to capture the opportunity. We have to enjoy this opportunity to convince Ethiopia and other countries not to stop threatening our national security, to stop threatening our livelihood in Egypt. We have to gain more friends in Africa. We were absent for some time now. It's very dangerous game for us. We have to talk to the biggest countries like South Africa, like Nigeria, Algeria and others, to also to create a mechanism for national security and for African security as a whole. I think the opportunity is there after the influence of Libya is vanished, after what's happening there. So we have to fill this vacuum in Africa. We have to fill this vacuum in the Middle East, in the Arab world. I believe we have a lot of work. We have to create an axe or a coalition for stability and development in the Middle East and Africa. We cannot work alone. We have to work with our neighboring countries, Arab countries and African countries as well. There is, as we said, there is a lot of opportunities for investments and developments. So we need to create this to stop the threats and also to stop the threats. We have terrorism. We have Ethiopian threat to our livelihood. We have Turkish threat. We have to cooperate with everybody to isolate these dangers coming to us, coming to our borders, coming to our Nile, and coming also to Egyptians working everywhere. We are seeing what's happening in Libya. They are killing Egyptians almost every day, kidnapping Egyptians, killing children. We cannot afford this. We have to collaborate and to organize the work with our neighbors and our brothers in Africa.
Definitely. Dr. Nasir, now there seems to be a lot of importance regarding this upcoming economic conference in Sharm el-Sheikh in March. And we seem to be trying to get everything done and all the support and everything that we can get our hands on before this March Economic Summit. Now, what is so different and significant about this upcoming Economic Summit? We've been part in many summits and many conferences, whether it has to do with the economy or the environment or what have you. What is so important and so different about this upcoming Economic Summit in March?
Well, it's going to be as different as we make it to be different. If we're going to leave it to be like any other or previous event, then it would not lead us, to any other direction. But if we're to again capture this opportunity, to me, I think it's very important opportunity. To make best use of it is, in my opinion, is to get a number of things straight. One of them is the issue you've just mentioned a minute ago, Ethiopia. I'm originally a structural engineer. I cannot tolerate, as an Egyptian, the fact that, and I can challenge anyone, okay, that this can have a sudden failure. And the sudden failure of a 70 billion, instead of what was originally 11 billion, the storage of water behind that dam, then it's going to endanger Sudan and Egypt. It's a matter of life or death. So what are we going to be doing? We make use of this march to say that here we are. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation, has to be. So what is it that Ethiopia is after? Is it a political game with us, or is it benefit would have from energy generation through the dam, right? The energy generation, we can afford it, as I mentioned, if we are to capture the know-how, and we are at the moment on the verge of doing that, then we can offer them, is it that you want 6 giga? What we can give you that 6 giga practically for nothing. Okay?
Yes.
If it is it's a political game, then let's open our cards and let's show it to be the other point, that maybe that they would like to get access to the Mediterranean, say for example, we tell them where we can have from there to here some means of transportation, like suspended train or what have you, what not. And here we are, we can open Europe for you. We can lure them into doing this to the point, if they don't accept, then we have opened the door for all other options.
Yes, definitely.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a matter of life and death. And we better make best use of marsh, not only for the economic, but also for all other issues that can make this country, get to where it's supposed to get.
Yes, definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, talking about remodeling and redeveloping the foreign relations strategy with Egypt and the whole international community, let's take a look at the situation with Turkey in light of Egypt actually trying to mend ties with Qatar and Doha. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back.
Qatar's recent move toward reconciliation with Egypt has left Turkey as the only country in the region taking a position against the legitimacy of the regime of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. But there are also dissenting voices inside Turkey pushing for a normalization of relations with Egypt. In a surprise move, Qatari Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani made a statement on December 21st announcing that Qatar's intention to normalize ties with Sisi, adding that Egypt's security is important for the security of Qatar and that the two countries are linked to deep fraternal ties. The decision followed a Saudi initiative to mend sore ties between the two nations. Qatar also decided to close Al Jazeera Mubashir Masr televised news channel. Turkey and Qatar had joined forces to protest Sisi and questioned his legitimacy since he came to power in 2013. But Qatar's recent move to reconcile with Egypt is a sign that under pressure from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, Qatar is distancing itself from militant groups in the region, particularly the Brotherhood. Just like Turkey, Qatar has been trying to get involved in almost every problematic issue in the region, including those in Lebanon, Sudan, Libya, Syria, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Since the removal of Mohamed Morsi from power in June 2013, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been one of the strongest critics of the new regime, saying that it has no legitimacy. Erdogan's decision to take sides with Morsi, a member of the Brotherhood, which is considered a terrorist organization by Egypt and Saudi Arabia, has damaged Turkish relationships with the Gulf states as well. Under pressure from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates over the summer, Qatar told Brotherhood members who had fled from Egypt to leave. Erdogan announced that Turkey would be happy to host them after evaluating each individual on a case-by-case basis. Qatar seems to be focusing on domestic issues as a priority rather than on Islam in the region. With the start of the Arab Spring in 2011, countries like Qatar and Turkey emerged as supporters of movements such as the Brotherhood, which is considered a threat to the region. According to various sources, Turkish Prime Minister Ahmed Davutoğlu, Foreign Minister, and possibly certain other cabinet ministers disagree with Erdogan's decision to continue to have troubled relations with Egypt. There have been a few attempts by the Foreign Ministry to mend ties with Egypt, but at least 2 of these attempts were blocked by Erdogan. During his visit to Turkey in July of last year, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas told Erdogan that Turkey needs to maintain a certain level of ties with Egypt because it is a key country in the search for a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Sheikh Tamim has called on Turkish officials to take steps to normalize Turkish-Egypt relations, saying it is inevitable that relations with Sisi will improve. The Qatari Emir conveyed his message to Turkish officials during his visit to Turkey in late December.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily Debate. Before we continue our conversation, let's highlight
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi arrived at the airport from Kuwait, headed towards the St. Mark's Cathedral in Abbasiyah right away to congratulate the Egyptian Christians on the eve of Christmas. Now, Mr. Negm, going back to the situation with Turkey, Egypt is mending ties with Doha and Qatar, and it seemed like they were the strongest or biggest ally to Turkey within the Middle East. Does that mean that Turkey is now losing the Arab community, losing the Arab world, standing alone in the international community, still supporting the Muslim Brotherhood and questioning the legitimacy of the Egyptian regime now?
Yes, of course. Turkey is still playing a very destructive role in the Middle East. Although they lost in Egypt, they lost in Tunisia, they lost in other places, and in Syria they did not win so far the battle. They destroyed Syria, yes, but they did not win the war. So they are losing every day. But they are very, as we said, very stubborn. They don't recognize